Zach, you guys have completed 10 practices now. How you feeling? How you feel the defense is doing?
Oh shoot, I think we're doing amazing. We have a lot of walkthroughs. We're very prepared for what's upcoming and for this upcoming season. So yeah, I think we're pretty ready.
With that scrimmage, that was very physical. We got to see all of it. What do you feel like you guys learned about yourself from Sunday?
I feel like we learned that it's a lot. We have a lot in the tank, and that we could just keep on going. We're gonna put up a fight always, especially with our own brothers. Iron sharpen iron, and we're just always gonna fight.
How much does it help to have Paul back out there?
Oh, it helps a lot. Paul's he's a strong dude. And he's also been here a year longer than me. He's just a great teammate to have around. He always keeps us up. Keeps our energy going. So he's just great to have around.
How much more comfortable would you say the whole defense is in Avalos' scheme this year?
Oh, we're extremely comfortable. Like I say, we're doing constant walkthroughs, so we're always prepared, and just our preparation, it just tells a story, for what's about to come up this season.
You played more interior last year. Now on the outside, what does Coach Avalos kind of tell you what he likes about how you're playing?
He likes that I have extremely long arms. I'm a very lengthy guy, and I have pretty good twitch. So he just wanted to, utilize me on the edge. And, I still play inside, so they're using me all around the line.
You look a little bigger from when we saw you in the spring. I guess, how was your off season? I guess, how much weight did you put on?
I put on around, 10 pounds. My weight fluctuates throughout the season. I could get up to 269, as low as 255. But, during the off season, I was lifting a lot, so I picked up a lot of weight and a lot of muscle.
What's your ideal of what's the weight you're most comfortable playing at?
Shoot, I felt the best when I was 269 last year against Texas Tech. I had about 6 tackles. That's probably the most confident I felt being here so far.
We look at that defensive line. Marcus hasn't been out there the last couple of days, but Connor Lindgren's come in and played. What are your thoughts on how he's playing, and just talk about the depth of that defensive line y'all have?
Connor's coming along, and he's been hooping. He's been doing his job. That's what we mainly need people to do is their job. Do their 111, and I think Connor's been doing a great job at that.
Think about the defensive line as a whole. It feels like there's a lot of depth in that. There's a lot of guys that can step up in that room. How are y'all kind of keeping each other going in the competition?
We're always just pushing each other. Always making sure we compete with each other. It's not just a competition between us ends. It's also a competition between the ends and the studs. I compete with Dev. Dev competes with me. Dev will compete with Paul. All around the room. So we always just keep each other going. Always.